We have to head over to Ohio, Blendon Township, Ohio, right outside of Columbus, Ohio, where a 21-year-old woman lost her life at Kroger. There's a debate about this on social media, some blaming the officer who's responsible for taking Takaya out, her family lawyered up and possibly looking to get a settlement from the town, but others say Takaya was in the wrong and caused her own demise. We're going to dive into the information here and get a better look. But first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Shout out to my sister Brittany from Columbus for sending this story in. Much love to you, Brittany, as always. If you're also watching from Columbus, let me know below. Takaya turned 21 years old on August 1st. The young mother celebrated by taking her two sons to the Ohio State Fair. One son is 6 years old and the other 3 years old. She also recently found out that she was expecting a baby girl in November. On Thursday, August 24th, 2023, around 6 p.m., Takaya was at a Kroger located at 5991 South Sunbury Road in Blendon Township, Ohio, right outside of Columbus. According to family members, Takaya went to the store for groceries, but the store employees are telling a different story. Employees accused Takaya and other unidentified alleged acquaintances of going in the store and walking out with bottles of alcohol without paying for them. Employees alerted police and the others got away, but Takaya was caught sitting in a 4-door Lexus outside of the store. She was parked illegally in a handicapped spot and the Lexus didn't have a license plate on it. 2 officers happened to already be in the parking lot helping someone who was having car trouble when a store employee alerted them to Takaya. They pointed out that she had taken multiple bottles of alcohol from the store without paying. So officers approached the Lexus. One officer went to the driver's side of the car while the other officer moved to the front of the car. In all, officers said they gave more than a dozen verbal orders to Takaya, but she ignored them and didn't follow. Instead, she put the Lexus in gear and accelerated. That's when the officer that was in the front of the car fired one shot through the front windshield. After the incident, the officers broke into the car through the window to give aid to Takaya and try to save her. She was transported to the hospital where she and the baby girl did not survive.
New information tonight on that deadly police shooting at a Kroger grocery store in Blendon Township. The Franklin County coroner has now identified the person who was killed. That shooting happened around 6:30 last night at that Kroger on Sunbury Road.
State investigators are now looking into it, and now we're hearing from Blendon Township Police. And NBC4's Jamie Ostroff joins us with the latest details. Jamie.
Yeah, we have been asking questions now for almost 24 hours. We are getting some answers now tonight. 21-year-old Takaya Young was shot and killed by a Blendon Township police officer outside that Kroger Thursday evening. And her family's attorney did give us permission to share this photo of her with you. Young was pregnant when she was killed. And all court records do show a warrant was issued for Young this past Monday for allegedly violating a protective order. And we are now hearing from the Blendon Township Police Chief about what led to the deadly shooting. In a video posted just minutes ago to the department's Facebook page, Chief John Belford said Kroger employees reported Young for stealing alcohol. When officers got to the store, Belford said Young was in the black car that you're seeing in some of the video there under the breezeway with no license plate and parked in a handicap spot. According to Belford, 2 officers ordered Young to get out of the car more than a dozen times and she did not comply. Belford says she sped toward an officer who had gotten in front of her car, and that officer fired a single shot.
I wanted a thorough and independent review of this incident. That's why I immediately asked the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation to handle the investigation. Our department is fully cooperating with them. Out of an abundance of caution, I placed both officers on administrative leave.
Belford says he does have plans to release that body-worn camera footage from the incident as soon as the legally required redactions are made from that video. Of course, we will share any new information with you as soon as we get it.
Takaya's family is very upset. Her father drove over 2.5 hours down from Sandusky, Ohio. He told the local newspaper, quote, "They told me I can't see her body at the morgue. I'm her dad and I care." Takaya's father also said they could have shot her tires out. Quote, "There's no excuse for this S." Takaya was also remembered by one of her friends and former roommate.
Yeah, no matter what happened here yesterday, people tell me Takaya Young was a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a friend, and they say she meant so much to so many people. Takaya Young is being remembered as the life of the party.
She was a ball of energy. She was like a firecracker. Her personality is like second to none, so she will truly be missed for like her personality, and I know that her kids will miss her. That's the saddest part of all of it.
Amari Gwen calls Young a friend. She says they lived together several years ago.
We bonded over just like being young mothers and loving our kids.
Young had 2 kids. The Franklin County coroner confirming she was also pregnant when she died. I spoke to Young's father, a cousin, and an aunt who are not ready to go on camera. The family's being represented by attorney Sean Walton. And almost 24 hours later, as questions still remain about Young's death, her family tells me they will continue to search for answers. Reporting in Blendon Township, Kiana Dyches, 10 TV News.
When people say firecracker, I'll be honest, that never sounds good to me. Maybe around friends and music, it's disguised as fun, but when you get a different type of person, a different environment, that can easily be out of control or chaotic behavior. Which is probably why her grandmother had a restraining order on her. Takaya was raised by her grandmother, and that's who she was living with all these years. After her passing, Takaya's grandmother told a reporter that she was, quote, fun-loving and goofy. But apparently, Takaya got so out of control that her grandmother filed for a protection order, and it was granted. A couple of days before the incident at Kroger, Takaya showed up to her grandmother's house that Sunday, and her 61-year-old grandmother called the police on her for violating the protection order. Now, by the time Columbus police got to her grandmother's house, Takaya had already left the house, but a misdemeanor charge of violating a protection order was filed after her grandmother filled out a witness statement, and this wasn't the first time she had similar charges. Her grandmother was really pushing to enforce that protection order, so much so that she called the police on her. Now that Takaya is gone, she's just fun-loving and going to go buy groceries. They're not addressing the stealing or her attempt to run over people. And then half of the story is really being told just to get people angry and protesting. And Black people do this all the time. They only use our outrage just to get a settlement. As for Takaya, she was obviously making a lot of bad choices in life, and her family knew it. She got pregnant at 14 years old with baby number 1. Before she was 18, she had 2 babies, and now at 21, she was about to have 3. Multiple baby daddies, no husband in sight. She was getting pregnant and bringing the babies home to her grandma, which is the kid's great-grandmother. No stability of her own, just leaning on grandma for help, and whatever program she was able to get help from. Her mother died last year, but her mother and father didn't raise her. She's been living with grandma, so not sure what was going on with her mother. And then her dad, he's like, there's no excuse. They should have aimed at her tires. If your daughter is in the process of using her car as a weapon, sir, what do you really expect? Especially when she's trying to use it against the police. Just a year ago, I covered a similar situation involving a mother out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Her name was Tavia. She was at a Kroger as well. Tried to run over her boyfriend. She ended up clipping him and ran into an innocent bystander who lost his life. So I don't know what's up with these girls in Ohio and these cars. Please stay away from these wild flamingos. If you missed the story from last year, I'll leave the link below. But I'm saying this to say his daughter, she's not innocent. She tried to run people over in a car. For the people upset about this on social media, saying Kroger had insurance, they did this to her because she was stealing. No, I do not believe that her stealing from Kroger justifies this. However, Takaya did not lose her life for stealing. That's not why. You're being dishonest trying to say that. She didn't lose her life for stealing. She lost her life because she was about to take another life with her car. Her attempting to use her car as a weapon is what got her out of here, not stealing. Again, stealing from Kroger doesn't mean your life should be taken. You should go to jail. And that's what the officers tried to do, take her to jail. She decided to ignore all the commands and then try to ride away playing bumper cars or something. So many lessons here. Number 1, pregnant women shouldn't be doing anything with alcohol. Number 2, if you can't afford it out of the store, just leave it there. Number 3, and if you decide to run off on the plug, when the popo stop you, go ahead and just go to jail. Don't argue. You got caught red-handed. You can argue in court about it. And number 4, don't use your car as a weapon. at the point that she shifted her car and was driving off about to run people over? I don't care if you're pregnant with triplets. If you're trying to comfort other people's lives, then it sounds like you're trying to go see your maker because you don't know what the other person may have for you. At that moment, you're putting yourself in danger, your unborn child, and not to mention the other customers and employees standing around. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about all of this below. Special thank you to Havelock. I appreciate you, Havelock, for all of your support for the channel, as well as Clint. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.